Hello students, welcome back to our class of DBMS. In today's class we are going to discuss about one of the most important diagram in any database design, that is called ER diagram or entity relationship diagram. Now using this ER diagram or entity relationship diagram, any database designer can design a physical database without help of anybody. Now once you have your ER diagram or the structure of your database, it is really going to be very easy to design the physical database. Now what is an ER diagram? Now ER diagram means you will define all the entities as well as the relationships between these entities. Now I will keep this tutorial in two parts. In this first part we are going to learn different components of ER diagram, and on our next ER diagram class we are going to learn how we actually do ER diagram for any given database or any given example. Okay, now the first thing that comes in ER diagram is called the entity. Entity means nothing but a simple square. Now this is represented for any entity. Now you simply write the entity name within this, and it may be anything, your entity name. And let's say this is my employee entity. Okay, now the other elements that we have in any ER diagram is called the attributes. Attributes are represented by ellipse. Okay, now let's say we have this ellipse. Sorry, C, Control P. These are my attributes. Okay, now these are my attributes. Okay, now we will simply join our attributes with our entity, and we will also write name of the attribute. See, for our employee entity we have attributes like the ID, that is employee ID, and maybe the name, that is employee name, city, and maybe mobile number. Okay, clear? So these are the attributes of your table. Now there are some attributes that are called the key attribute. Okay, now what is a key? Now we have already described that in our previous classes. That key means some fields or attribute in any table that can be used to uniquely identify any tuple from the table. Okay, now let's say this is our key element, then simply put one underline in that. Okay, now the next thing is called multi-value attribute. What is multi-value attribute? Multi-value attribute means in one field you can have multiple values. Okay, now we can say that mobile is a multi-value attribute. It is a multi-value attribute, so we will put double circle for that attribute. Okay, so this is our multi-value attribute. Now the next thing is called the derived attribute. Now in case of derived attribute, you will have like, excuse me, you will have like this. Something like this. Okay, now dotted line will be there. That is one attribute also. Let's say this is my age. Okay, now say I have another attribute, and its name is DOB, date of birth. Now if you have date of birth of your employee, then it is really going to be very easy for you to define age of that employee. So that field or that attribute is going to be a derived attribute that easily can be derived from any of the existing attribute. Okay, now the next thing is called the relationship. Now any relationship is defined by a diamond. Okay, now this is one relationship. Okay, now say you have two entity. One is, say, I have one attribute called employee, and another one is called department. Okay, department. Okay, now I have three attributes. Let's, for this example, we are taking three attributes. EID. Next is my name and DID. DID means what? Department ID. Okay. Now this is my DID. Good. Now you, in the same manner, have, say, two attributes there. One is DID and another one is, say, name. Okay. Now we know that one employee works in one department. Okay, so this is the relationship between employee and the department. Excuse me. So we are just going to connect them using this junction table or relationship table, whatever you say, this through this diamond, and we are going to write the relationship name there. Works, employee works in department. Any employee can work in any department. Okay, now you must define the cardinality, that is how many employees work in a department, or is there any chance that one employee can work in multiple department, or in a department we can have many employees like this. Okay, so in this case, see, here I am defining like this: one employee and, sorry, one department and multiple employees working. Okay, now in just in one department you have multiple employees, so this is called one to many relationship. In one department you have multiple employees. Now you also have a situation where you can say that one employee can work in multiple department also. What I previous example, one employee is working in multiple department. Maybe this is your situation, and in one department you have multiple employees, then that is called M is to N. Okay, yeah. So you can have two options. Either you can go by 1:m, where you have one department and multiple employee, or you can write it like this: one employee can work in multiple department, and in one department you have multiple employee. Okay, in the same way you can have a situation where you can have one-to-one relationship. Maybe I'm taking another example here. See, so let's say we have one situation where this is our situation: student and teacher. So now maybe in this situation, one student can have one teacher only, and one teacher can have only one student. Okay, clear? So this is basic ER diagram. Now on our next class we are going to discuss in more detail, along with one example, how ER diagram really works in practical life. Okay, thank you.